Happy to have one of the greats here in studio, Herschel Walker, of course, former Heisman winner, now a brand ambassador, global ambassador for Bellator MMA. It's good to see you. How are you?
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming in here. Obviously, Bellator week here in the islands. You've been here since Monday. What's it been like as you've not just been around the islands having fun, but also seeing what the fans have really enjoyed with Bellator being here?
Well, I absolutely love it. I am totally shocked that they have not had this here a long time ago. And, with so much spirit here on the island, so much great fight, so many great fighters here on the island, I am totally shocked that Bellator hadn't been here earlier. And I'm excited about it. And I'm glad that Scott said, they think we're going to come back again. I hope they invite me back because the people here are absolutely wonderful. I think the support that they've been getting is wonderful. And they're going to have a lot of good fighters from the island here. And I think this is going to be incredible.
I was about to ask you about that because you've seen a lot of the fighters that Bellator has had across the country. Is there anything you noticed particularly about the local fighters here that have stood out to you?
Yeah, one of the things I noticed is their and I would say their warrior spirit, and they've always had it. I've noticed that when I used to play with a couple of guys, they got that warrior spirit, that non-quit, I'm not going to quit, and that's what I like. I think being a fighter, you got to have that. Got to have that warrior spirit, and you got a young lady here, and I had no clue that I was going to be coming to Hawaii for this great outing tonight and tomorrow night. But I made a statement. I saw a fight, and I said, that's the next Ronda Rousey, and I just that's the next Ronda. I said, but she's a beautiful girl. I'm not saying Ronda not. Ronda is a beautiful woman as well. But I said, she's a beautiful woman. And I said that, but she can fight. I said, she can fight. She knows what she's doing in that cage. And I made that statement, and I got an opportunity I'm going to get an opportunity to see her live. And I think that's what people got an opportunity now to see her live on Paramount. And I think they got to tune in. They must tune in. And because one thing about it is Scott at Bellator put on some good fights. There's going to be some absolutely great fights Friday night and Saturday night. And then a lot of the great fights are going to come from guys from Hawaii. These are guys that they're going to get out there and they're going to bang it out. And I think that's what people want to see.
Have you gotten to meet Illuminato yet?
I have. Yesterday I got a chance to meet at the press conference. I was totally impressed. You hear her speak, and she said she's a class act. She's a class act, and I can say she's someone you can build around. She continued to win. It's going to be a tough fight. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It's going to be a tough fight for her because the young lady she's fighting, she's a veteran. She's been around a long time. She's trained very well, and so it's going to be a tough fight. But that's what's going to make it exciting. Going to make it exciting for our viewers, but it's also it can also build it can build her career because she's fighting a good woman. She's fighting someone that know what they're doing, and it's going to be excellent.
Everybody knows you for what you did on the football field. I think there are some that are wondering, how did you get into MMA?
Yeah, people don't know. I've been in Taekwondo for over 40 years. When I was in college, I used to fight in martial arts tournaments Sunday afternoon after church. So I've been doing it for years. I absolutely love the sport. And, when they clean it up and put what they call weight classes in it, when they put weight classes, because at first I thought it was a tough man contest. But when they start putting weight classes in it, I told someone once, I said, I'm going to try it. I said, I'm going to try this. And people said, you're crazy. So I went into training, and I said I wanted to fight, and I thank Scott Coker so much here at Bellator. And let me tell you the reason why. Scott Coker, when I decided I wanted to fight, Scott could have taken me and threw me into the cage right away. And I can tell you I would have gotten killed. No matter what type of athlete I was, no matter what type of strength I had, no matter what type of martial arts background I had at that time, without going to a great MMA camp, I wouldn't have done well. But by Scott saying, Herschel, I will get you a fight if you promise to go to a camp. So I decided to go to AKA out in San Jose, California with Cain Velasquez, Bob Cook, Daniel Cormier, Javier Mendez, and I tell you what, for 9 months, 6 days a week, I would train. And I tell you what, they taught me how to do a lot of those things that I needed to learn for the cage, and now I feel pretty good.
Are you going to get back in?
I told Scott I love to get back in. There dozen people say, Herschel, you're getting old. I said, age is a number. I think the problem you have is the guys that's younger that got to fight me. They're the one that got something to lose. I got nothing to lose because I'm planning on winning anyway. So, the thing is, I love this sport so much, but I always say it's a young person's sport. You know, I continue to talk that I can get in there and fight, and I know I can, but at the same time, there's so many great young fighters coming up. And you don't want this old, crusty Herschel Walker to continue to take most of the publicity up, but if I get called out, I say, yeah, I'll step to the plate.
Is there anybody in MMA that reminds you of you?
Oh, geez. You know, it's hard to say because there are so many great fighters. You know, and I would say this. You know, I was watching the two young guys that's going to be they're in the main card coming up on Saturday fight. They're two guys from Hawaii, and the families was going at each other at the weigh-in, at the press conference and stuff, and you know, listening to the families go. And to be honest with you, I said, that's like my family. This is no joke. My family are the type of family, if I was going into a fight, and one thing I did, I tried to keep them away because they really would go. They would be bringing all their sticks and knives and stuff because they want to protect me and stuff because we're always together. And that's what I like about this, like about being here. This is a place that, when we talk about family, this is family here. I'm talking about how everybody on the island here in Hawaii, they welcome you in. They take care of you. And I said, that's what's so wonderful about this here. And that's why I love Hawaii. That's why I was excited about Bellator. I'm excited that Scott Coker and, you know, I said Viacom had bought Bellator here. And I want them to continue to come here because there's a lot of great fighters here. And I think right now with Tua, with Mariota, they're showing there's a lot of great athletes here. So I think right now I want all the young kids here in Hawaii to realize, guys, you can do this. You can do what all these guys you're seeing on TV doing because now you got someone to look at and know that you can get it done, and I'm happy to see it. You were talking briefly before we got started about Max Holloway. You got to meet him. What is he like? Max is an incredible guy. He's got a warrior spirit, and he's going to be at the fight. So that's what's great. So everyone got to come out Saturday and get a chance to take a glance at Max, and I'm hoping I can get a picture. Maybe get a picture with me and my son. Maybe we can get a picture together. But let me tell you what. This is a guy that's a true warrior. You know, you see him start to fight out, and you know, you ask someone, and I would say this: I think to be a great MMA fighter, you got to have a good ground game. Max Holloway is good at a lot of things. That's what makes him tough to beat. He's good at a lot of things, and for him to be at Bellator, and I'm excited about it. You know, and I tell you what, incredible fighter, and there's a couple of guys from the gym that's fighting. They're going to be on the card, and we're going to see if they got that same type of warrior spirit as he got. So we're getting an opportunity to see that. I'm excited that you're here. I would be fired if I didn't ask you about football. Yes. So I've got to give you a few football questions. Being the 1982 Heisman winner, long time ago. Most people weren't even born then. Don't talk about that. Okay, go ahead. What did you think of the Heisman result? You know, it was sad. It was sad. I think you had two great guys that could win. And I'm not taking anything away from the young man from Ohio State because he performed well as well. But you know, when you say that you had Murray that had a great year, and then you have Tua, and this is the first time I've said that should have been two Heisman. Because let me tell you what, you can't take anything away from these two guys, and they're going to be playing each other. What is best than have two guys that was up for the Heisman Trophy fighting it out now to play each other in a playoff? That's going to be absolutely incredible, and I got an opportunity to meet Tua and his family. And let me tell you what, I fell in love with him. He don't even know this. He's an Alabama fan, and not that I'm going to root for him if they play Georgia again, but I got a chance that I fell in love with the kid. Let me tell you what, and you know, one of the things I judge people on in my vote for the Heisman is not just being an athlete, but being a good person. And that's what I look at as being a fighter as well. You can be a great fighter, but you got to be a great person as well. You got to be able to take it out of that cage. You got to be able to take it off that football field. Well, I heard Tua speak. And when I met him, I said, wow, this is a great person here. And I met his family. I said, man, this is a great family. And that means a lot. You got to meet him in Atlanta at the Home Depot College Football Awards that was televised on ESPN. The awards circuit, you weren't at the Heisman this year. You had some big engagements you had to be at. But what was it like for you being around a lot of those young athletes who have been in multiple positions in college football? What was it like to be around that this year? Well, I'm always humble. I'm always humble because you know, most of those guys were not even born when I was playing. And for them, sometimes they want to get a picture with me, and I'm trying to get a picture with them. You know, you get humble. And to see that they're doing some great things there, and to see that we got some great leaders coming up in the athletic world, not just great athletes, but great leaders, because I think that's what we want to have. We want to have people that are going to be great leaders just on and off the field. And I think we got that. I know we got it into it just from what I saw. And that's what I want to see in other young athletes as well.
All right, before we let you go, what can people expect when they go to a Bellator event, whether it's the Bellator Salutes event Friday night or the big Bellator card on Saturday with Ilima McFarland headlining that? What can people expect when they go?
Let me tell you what you're going to expect, first of all, is just a workout. When the athletes work out, you're going to expect some entertainment. But most of all, you're going to expect some people that are going to get in there and going to bang it out. You know, that's one thing, and I'm not just saying it, putting anyone else down, but they're going to get in there and they're going to bang it out. They're going to settle it, and I think that's the way you got to do it. You know, I was talking to Rutan, who's going to fight Ed Roof, who's going to fight, who's from the gym that I trained at, worked with Bob Cook, and he was so excited about getting in there to fight. He's going to be fighting Gracie. And, Gracie is they're the grandfather of jiu-jitsu. And Ed said, I'm ready for this. He said, I'm ready for it. And I said, that's what I like, that you step into the cage right now. It's just you two. And you settle it in the cage. You don't let a referee decide it. You got to decide it. And he said, that's what I'm going to do. And I said, that's the way it got to be. Right now in football, you have all these referees that are getting involved into the game. And now if you touch a quarterback, there's a penalty for that. So now if you don't have your socks pulled up, they're going to have a fine. So now you get a hangnail, you can't play for a week. And I'm like, geez, they're taking the excitement out of the game. But here in the Bellator cage, come Friday night, tonight and Saturday night, you're going to expect some people to get in there and settle their disagreements.
I'm going to expect that Bellator is back here for years to come, and I surely hope that we can make this a yearly appointment.
Well, I hope we can make the yearly appointment. I'm playing. Scott, do you hear what he just said? You got to make Herschel a yearly appointment to be back out here for Bellator 2019.
Herschel, it's good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you. Thank you, guys.